Here is what dispatchers get wrong about the first load after MC activation. They treat activation day as the starting line. It is not. Activation day is the day the operational clock starts ticking, and brokers do not grade you on a curve because your authority is fresh. They expect you to operate like a working carrier from the first phone call, with banking set up, carrier packet ready, COI accessible, and the truck legal to roll. The carriers who win their first 3 weeks did the readiness work during the 21-day pending window. The ones who wait until the FMCSA email arrives spend another full week getting organized, watching loads they could have booked roll off the boards, and burning operating capital while their truck sits. The gap between activation and first load is not a setup phase. It is a self-inflicted revenue delay. The dispatchers who internalize this stop treating the activation email as the trigger to start preparing and start treating it as the trigger to verify what was already done. That mindset shift, more than any single checklist item, is what separates carriers who book day 22 from carriers who book day 40. Here is the concrete failure mode. A new authority carrier gets activated on a Monday. They see a load on a board paying $2,800 from Dallas to Atlanta. They call the broker. The broker says, "Great, send your packet." The carrier does not have a packet. They scramble for 2 days assembling documents, getting a COI request to their insurance broker, opening a business checking account because the broker will not pay a personal account, and waiting for the BMC 91 filing to actually appear in L&I. By Wednesday, the load is gone. They find another load paying $2,000, lose another day in setup because their BOC3 is showing pending in SAFER, and finally roll on Friday afternoon. That is roughly $800 of margin given up on load 1, plus 4 days of fixed costs on the truck, plus an unrecoverable first impression with 2 brokers who now have them flagged as slow to set up. Multiply that across 3 loads, and the new authority has burned through more than $3,000 of preventable losses in their first 10 days, all because the readiness work happened reactively instead of in the pending window. Here is the right approach with specific steps. Before you respond to any broker, pull your own SAFER company snapshot and confirm operating status reads authorized for hire. Your MC number is listed, USDOT status is active, and out of service date is blank. Then pull L&I and confirm the BMC 91 or 91X is posted under your insurance carrier's name and the BOC3 process agent designation is filed. If anything reads pending, you're not ready to take a load yet, regardless of what the FMCSA email said. On the truck side, the driver's CDL and medical card must be current. The ELD must be active with the driver logged in. IFTA decals must be on both cab doors if you cross jurisdictions. The IRP cab card must match the vehicle, and the permit folder must hold the UCR receipt for the current year, the 2290 Schedule 1, the IFTA license, and a printed authority letter. On the office side, the carrier packet PDF, the business checking account, the fuel card, and the factoring or invoicing workflow must all be live. Setup with a new broker takes 1 to 3 business days on average. Knowing that means you do not promise a pickup time you cannot make. Here is where Cypress fits. The readiness items above split into 2 tracks. Track A is the operational compliance that activates with authority, the MCS 150 biennial update, BOC3 maintenance, and the UCR annual filing. Cypress handles those as part of authority setup. Track B is the recurring compliance infrastructure that has to be in place before load 1, and this is where most new carriers get stranded. The 2290 HVUT Schedule 1 has to be filed, and the receipt has to be in the cab. IRP apportioned registration has to be active, and the cab card has to match the truck. IFTA decals have to be on the doors, and the license has to be in the cab. If the driver pulls a load, that driver needs a current MVR on file in the qualification folder and enrollment in a DOT drug and alcohol consortium with a pre-employment negative on record. Cypress builds all of that directly against the regulatory portals. One intake, one invoice, one operator who actually understands which state requires what. The carriers who try to assemble these pieces vendor by vendor in the week after activation are the ones who lose the first load. The carriers who let Cypress front-load it during the pending window are rolling on day 22. Here is the single action. Today, before you do anything else, open Safer and pull your own company snapshot. Then open L&I and pull your insurance and BOC3 records. Look at them the way a broker setup clerk will look at them in 72 hours. If operating status reads authorized for hire, US.T is active, BMC 91 is posted with your carrier's name, and BOC3 is filed and posted, you are cleared for setup conversations. If anything reads pending or missing, that is your day one priority and nothing else moves until it clears. The first load will not be your best load. It will pay below market, route somewhere imperfect, and feel like an audition because it is one. The carriers who execute it cleanly, communicate well, and deliver clean paperwork get the better second and third loads from the same brokers. The exceptional money lives in months 6 through 18 in the broker relationships you start on these first loads. Treat load 1 as the proof, not the payday.